Hi everyone, welcome back to Climate Solutions Unveiled, where we explore innovative approaches to address global environmental challenges. I'm Fernanda Villanueva, here to guide you through today's fascinating topic.
And I'm Nora Gonzalez. Thanks for joining us. In this episode, we'll be diving deep into a research backed approach that uses optimization techniques to tackle climate change. It's a thoughtful scientific strategy for reducing greenhouse emissions. Let's unpack it together.
Climate change is one of the most urgent issues facing the world today. But the path to cutting emissions is far from simple. Different regions and countries have varying levels of responsibility and capability when it comes to taking action. That makes creating fair and effective solutions a real challenge.
And that's where optimization techniques come in. They offer a structured way to navigate the complexities of emission reductions without sacrificing economic growth or fairness. Today's discussion is based on a research paper by Filler, Gardner, and Jensen, which introduces a two-stage optimization process for addressing these challenges.
Let's break it down. The first stage of the process focuses on developing a global strategy. The goal here is to balance economic utility and essentiality, the benefits of economic growth with the need to reduce CO2 emissions. It's about finding that sweet spot between economic and environmental priorities.
This global strategy lays the foundation for the second stage, which involves tailoring the overall emission reduction targets to regional needs and capabilities. The idea is to minimize disruptions to each region's typical emission patterns while still meeting the global objectives.
To make this happen, the researchers used a model called Omega Plus. Think of it as a super smart tool that combines economic models with climate simulations to identify the most effective paths for reducing emissions. It's designed to simultaneously satisfy economic, climate, and environmental constraints.
What's so impressive about Omega Plus is that it's not crunching numbers. It's also taking into account real world complexities. For instance, industrialized nations are generally larger contributors to greenhouse emissions and often have more resources to reduce them. On the other hand, developing countries are striving to improve their living standards, which can lead to higher emissions.
And this imbalance can make international agreements like carbon taxes difficult to implement. Not all countries feel the same urgency to act, and not all have the same capability to make significant cuts. That's why fairness is such a critical element in these strategies.
Absolutely. This two-stage optimization process addresses this by finding a global solution first and then adapting it to regional contexts. It promotes fairness while still aiming for effective and impactful emission reductions.
But there's another challenge. The researchers highlighting setting realistic CO2 targets if the goals are too strict. Countries might refuse to cooperate because the economic impacts will be too severe. On the other hand, if the targets are too lenient, we could fail to prevent the worst effects of climate change.
It's definitely a delicate balance. Policymakers need to weigh these factors carefully when deciding on strategies. What's hopeful, though, is seeing how mathematical techniques like optimization can provide clear guidance in finding that balance.
And it's worth noting that this approach isn't just theoretical. It's a practical framework that could influence real world policy by considering economic, environmental, and social factors all at once. It offers a comprehensive solution for global cooperation on climate action.
Let's talk for a moment about the impact this could have. Imagine a world where countries are able to work together effectively, using data driven strategies to cut emissions while preserving their economies. It's a vision of progress that feels achievable with tools like Omega Plus.
That's such an inspiring thought, Lua. It reminds us that science and innovation can pave the way for meaningful change, even when the challenges seem overwhelming.
Completely agree, Fernanda. So, as we wrap up, let's take away one key message. Tackling climate change requires both global collaboration and tailored regional solutions. By combining fairness and feasibility, we can create strategies that work for everyone.
Well, that's it for today's episode of Climate Solutions Unveiled. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast if you found it valuable.
Thanks everyone, stay curious, stay proactive, and let's make a difference together. Until next time, goodbye.